Have you ever felt like you've tried every trick in the book to make your job work, but you're still just drained? If you feel stuck in this mental loop, constantly asking yourself, should I quit? Well, you're in the right place. We're going to help you get out of that loop and move forward with total clarity. Let's start right here with this powerful idea. Because if your job is making you miserable, you absolutely have the power to change that. You're not trapped. This is all about making a conscious choice for yourself. You know, it's a really tough spot to be in, falling out of love with a role, but feeling like you have to just cling on. The whole relationship starts to break down, trust disappears, and honestly, everyone ends up suffering. So when you've genuinely tried to fix things, and there's still no joy, no growth, no real engagement, it's probably time to move on. And realizing this isn't just about setting yourself free, it's about setting everyone else free too. Okay, let's dive into this because this is a real game changer for how you think about all of this. We hear it all the time, right? We're like a family here. But that kind of thinking can create a ton of guilt and confusion when you're considering leaving. The difference is actually pretty simple. Family is bound by unconditional love, but work is a mutual value exchange. You provide your skills and your time, and your employer provides value back to you. It's a professional relationship, plain and simple. Now, this doesn't mean work has to be cold or impersonal, not at all. It just makes it clear. And that clarity is so liberating. It gives you the permission you need to say, hey, this season of my career is over, and to move on, completely guilt-free. So with that new clarity in mind, let's get practical. At the heart of this whole thing is a simple checklist, just 6 points to help you figure out, for real, if you should stay or go. But first, a quick word of caution. You know that fantasy of dramatically quitting and storming out? It feels good for a second, right? But jumping without a real plan can just swap one kind of stress for another. So let's just take a moment, pause, breathe, and make this decision thoughtfully. Okay, this is the core of our framework. Let's run through these 6 questions. Think of them as a structured way to really check in with yourself and get past that vague feeling of just being unhappy. First up are your core values being compromised. Like the legendary Charlie Munger said, you've got to respect the people you work for. If things like honesty or integrity are getting squashed all the time, that's a huge red flag. Second, are you being pulled towards something better? We'll dig into this more, but it's about moving towards an opportunity, not just running away from stress. Third, do you just feel out of place? If you've really tried to connect and you still feel like a square peg in a round hole, that's a sign. Fourth, are the ways of working just broken? Constant chaos isn't just annoying, it stops you from doing great work. Fifth, and this one is so important, is your health taking a hit? Chronic stress, anxiety, burnout. Listen, no job is worth sacrificing your well-being. And finally, have you completed your mission? Sometimes you've just learned everything you can, you've given all you can give, and it's simply time for a new challenge. Let's just zoom in on that second point for a moment, because this is such a critical distinction. Is your desire to leave all about escaping a bad situation? Or are you genuinely excited and compelled by a new opportunity that fits your vision for the future? The most powerful career moves, the ones that really work out, happen when you're being pulled towards something positive, not just pushed away from something negative. So maybe you've gone through the checklist and you're leaning towards leaving. Awesome. Now let's just make sure this decision is rock solid by looking at it from every possible angle. First, I want you to ask yourself this. Why are you still there? Get really honest. Make a list of all the good things you'd be giving up. The money, the people, the flexibility, whatever it is. Then ask yourself, can you replace those things in your next move? And that leads right into the second, equally important question. What is your actual plan for what comes next? Having a clear strategy here is what separates a rash decision from a really smart career move. A clear strategy for these key areas is what's going to give you confidence. How are you going to manage your finances? How will you lock down your next source of income? And what's your plan to keep growing? Thinking this through gives you clarity and, more importantly, control. Okay, you've made the call. The final step is all about execution. If you've done the work and decided to leave, the big question becomes, how do you do it professionally and with grace? First, assuming it's not a toxic workplace, it's a good idea to give your employer a chance to respond. Have an honest conversation about what you need and why you're leaving. Even if you still go, you'll leave with your head held high. And always, always serve out your notice period with the utmost respect. So what does serving your notice with respect actually look like?
Well, it means being a pro right to the very end. It means tying up loose ends by closing out your projects, documenting key processes for whoever comes next, and handing over your responsibilities smoothly.
Just remember, how you leave is every bit as important as why you leave. Doing it well protects your professional reputation for years to come. It's the final chapter of your story at that company, so make it a good one.
And finally, whether you decide to stay and make things work or to move on to something new, trust your choice. Make a decision, commit to it, and just be ready to adapt as you go. Every single path holds valuable lessons. The most important thing is that you are the one in the driver's seat.